Welcome to the Deep Dive, your essential shortcut to truly being well-informed. We take that, complex stack of sources, articles, research, and we really try to distill it down to those aha moments you're looking for.
Exactly. Think of us as your navigators, kind of guiding you through all that dense information so you can get straight to the core insights. Our goal is always to connect the dots.
Right. Not just what happened, but why it matters. That context.
Precisely. Providing that critical context.
And today, we are embarking on a pretty deep dive into a film that, maybe more than any other in recent memory, just ignited conversations, sparked huge debates.
Oh, yeah.
And really challenged the fabric of one of cinema's most beloved sagas. We are talking about Star Wars, Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
That one.
This film was, let's just say, an absolute lightning rod. And today we're going to unpack exactly why it generated such an intense, polarized reaction.
And we've gathered quite the stack for you. We've gone through detailed production timelines, character insights, comprehensive breakdowns of its box office, which was huge.
Right.
And maybe most importantly, we've analyzed that incredibly varied reception, from critics and the fans.
That's right. Our mission today is to give you that well-rounded, balanced perspective. We'll look at the vision behind it, how it was made, those creative choices that definitely pushed against long-standing fan expectations.
They challenged them.
And the legacy it left on the galaxy far, far away. We want you to walk away really understanding its place with surprising facts, key insights.
Yep, get past the noise maybe.
Exactly. So get ready for some aha moments because here's where it gets really interesting. Okay, so we mentioned the storm The Last Jedi created, but to really get it, we need to go back to the foundations of this whole new era for Star Wars. And that really kicks off with, a seismic shift in entertainment.
Indeed. The whole Star Wars landscape just fundamentally changed in October 2012. George Lucas, the creator, the visionary, he sells Lucasfilm to Disney.
Wow.
And this wasn't just, a business deal. It was the start of a completely new chapter for the whole saga. Set the stage for, everything that followed.
And Disney, they didn't hang around, did they? Right after the acquisition, boom, the big announcement, a brand new Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Right away.
Can you imagine the expectations, the speculation, just globally? It wasn't just another movie. It was the continuation of the Skywalker story.
Monumental expectations.
Excellent.
And so the creative team started coming together pretty quickly. January 2013, J.J. Abrams is tapped to direct The Force Awakens, Episode 7.
Okay, so he sets the initial tone.
Right. He kind of laid the groundwork, the look, the feel for this new trilogy.
But then for Episode 8, a different choice, a distinct voice. By June 2014, reports start bubbling up about Rian Johnson, not just directing, but writing Episode 8 and even doing a treatment for Niax.
Yeah, that was the initial plan. He officially confirmed he was directing in August 2014, so his vision was going to shape that crucial middle chapter. It definitely signaled a willingness to maybe shake things up a bit.
And behind the scenes, you need that continuity too, right?
Absolutely. Ram Bergman was set to produce both 8th and IX, kind of a steady hand there. And of course, the legend, John Williams,
Had to be Williams.
confirmed to score the whole trilogy, including The Last Jedi. His session started pretty early, actually, February 2016, and went out for over a year, till March or April 2017. Just shows you the scale of scoring a Star Wars film.
And overseeing all of this, steering the ship, Kathleen Kennedy, president of Lucasfilm.
Right. Her role was absolutely pivotal, overseeing the whole process, producing The Last Jedi specifically. Her leadership was really central to making these huge films happen, balancing the old and the new.
Okay, so let's get into building The Last Jedi itself. The production, some highlights, but also inevitably some challenges.
For sure. Like second unit photography. Started at Skellig Michael in Ireland back in September 2015. That amazing island location from Force Awakens.
Luke hideout, yeah.
Exactly. But right away, logistical hurdles the very first day.
Yeah.
Canceled. Bad weather.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just shows you how tough filming in those kinds of remote, dramatic spots can be. Nature doesn't always cooperate.
And casting, always huge for Star Wars. Benicio del Toro confirmed in September 2015.
Though he was cagey about playing a villain at first. Little bit of misdirection.
Classic. And the big one, also September 2015, Mark Hamill confirmed as Luke Skywalker.
The return. That sent massive waves through the fandom. Just huge anticipation.
Then in November 2015, Kennedy confirms the main Force Awakens cast is back, plus new faces.
Right. And then February 2016, Laura Dern and Kelly Marie Tran are announced.
Okay.
And Tran's role, Rose Tico, Ryan Johnson later said in April 2017, was the film's largest new role. So a really significant new character.
Interesting. A sad note, though, during production, Kenny Baker, the original R2-D2 actor, passed away in August 2016.
Yeah, very sad. Jimmy V took over the physical role, carrying on that legacy.
And speaking of legacies and secrets, Frank Oz returning as Yoda.
As a Force spirit.
Yeah.
And they kept that totally under wraps. His name wasn't in any marketing.
Smart.
And the puppetry. They used a puppet, like the original trilogy Yoda, not just CGI. A deliberate choice, apparently, to connect it to Luke's memories. Keep that tangible feel.
That makes sense. So the script and the overall vision sounds like it was a bit fluid at first.
It seems so. Even after Force Awakens came out in December 2015, Kathleen Kennedy mentioned, Episode 8 wasn't rigidly mapped out. Abrams, Johnson, and Colin Trevorrow, who was originally set for IX, were all talking, collaborating, trying to ensure a smooth transition.
So flexibility, which can be good, but maybe challenging, too.
Exactly. It allows for bold choices, but maybe opens the door for, well, different directions between films.
And that flexibility showed up in production, too. Principal photography got pushed back.
Yeah, it was delayed until February 2016, specifically for script rewrites. Pretty common on big films, but it does suggest, story tweaks were happening.
And Johnson drew inspiration from some interesting places, not just sci-fi.
Right. He mentioned his story group watched films like 12 O'Clock High, The Bridge on the River Kwai, Gunga Din, classic war films, films about leadership, duty, moral conflict.
So adding depth beyond just space battles.
Seems like that was the goal, to enrich the themes.
Okay, this brings us to a really key point of discussion, maybe the key point for some. Luke Skywalker's arc.
Luke, yeah. Mark Hamill himself. He wasn't shy about expressing his disagreement, initially at least, with the direction Luke took.
The disillusioned hermit Luke.
Exactly. Hamill felt it clashed with the established hero, the Luke he knew. He later regretted making it so public, compared it to disagreements he'd had with George Lucas back on Return of the Jedi. But it highlights that real tension, right? Between an actor deeply invested in a character for decades and a director with a new, maybe challenging vision for that character within a specific story. Johnson was asking Luke and the audience to grapple with failure, even heroic failure.
To clear the path for something new?
Potentially, yeah. That seemed to have been the intent.
And the actual filming itself sounds like a massive production. Started February 2016, working title Space Bear.
Space Bear, yeah. And it was truly global. Dubrovnik, Croatia.
Beautiful city.
Melonhead and Chancebil in Ireland. Again, for Octo.
Right.
And those incredible salt flats in Bolivia, the Solarity Uni, for the Crait battle scenes. Just visually stunning. Plus some filming in Mexico, too.
They really went for scale.
Yeah.
Practical effects were a big focus.
Very much so. Trying to keep that original trilogy feel. Neil Scanlon, the creature designer, reported something like 180 to 200 practical creatures were made.
Wow.
Not all made the final cut, of course, but that commitment was there. And like we said, Yoda being a puppet was part of that. Grounding the fantasy.
And for those Rey and Kylo Force connection scenes, the actors were actually there together.
Yeah, Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver are both on set for those.
Yeah.
To really build that intimacy, that connection you see on screen, not just reacting to a blank space.
Makes a difference. And the sets, huge number.
Production designer Rick Heinrichs said the original script called for 160 sets, trimmed down to 125 across 14 sound stages. Still massive. Speaks to the world building.
Absolutely. Then a truly sad event cast a shadow. Carrie Fisher passing away in December 2016.
Yeah, incredibly sad. The film The Last Jedi is dedicated to her memory. It features her final performance as General Leia.
And they managed to complete her arc in the next film using unused footage, right?
They did. Carefully adapted footage from The Force Awakens was used in The Rise of Skywalker to give Leia a respectful conclusion. A difficult process, but necessary.
And finally, after all that anticipation, the title reveal. January 2017.
Star Wars. The Last Jedi.
Boom! And the speculation went into overdrive. Who is it? Luke? Rey? Both.
Exactly. Perfect setup for the release later that year.
Okay, so let's unpack the story itself. The Last Jedi. A film full of reckoning, revelation, and some big surprises. It picks up immediately after Force Awakens, right?
Right in the thick of it. The Resistance is evacuating their base. First Order fleet closing in fast. Super tense opening.
And Poe Dameron. He makes a bold move. Maybe too bold.
Well, yeah. Against Leia's orders, he leads this attack, takes out a First Order dreadnought, It's a win, but a costly one. Lots of resistance losses.
Highlighting their desperation.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And it sets up conflict between him and Leia about leadership, about the cost of war.
And then the First Order drops a bombshell. They can track ships through hyperspace.
Time changer. Suddenly, there's no escape. The resistance is trapped, running out of fuel. A really dire situation.
But there's that moment with Kylo Ren. He hesitates to fire on Leia's ship.
He does. He senses her through the Force. But his wingmen don't, and they hit the bridge. Leia gets pulled into space.
And then there was a big Force moment.
She saves herself, pulls herself back to the ship using the Force. A huge reveal of her latent ability, something fans had wondered about for years, shows her Skywalker strength.
As Leia recovers, Vice Admiral Holdo takes command. Laura Dern.
Right. And her style is very different from Leia's, more reserved, seemingly cautious, which immediately causes friction, especially with Poe.
He doesn't trust her plan.
He doesn't. She's planning this secret evacuation, keeping things close to the chest, while Poe wants direct action. It creates this internal power struggle within the Resistance, a test of faith and leadership styles.
Meanwhile, Rey's off on her own quest. She finds Luke Skywalker on Ahch-To.
She does, hoping for the wise Jedi Master to train her, save the day.
But that's not what she finds.
Not at all. This is maybe the film's biggest subversion. Luke is broken, disillusioned. He believes the Jedi Order needs to end.
Wow. A total reversal.
He's burdened by his failure with Ben Solo with his academy. He refuses to help Rey at first. It's only after R2-D2 plays Leia's original message.
Oh, the nostalgia hit.
Right. That gets him to reluctantly agree to give Rey 3 lessons. But his lessons aren't what you'd expect. They challenge everything about the Jedi, the Force, the legacy.
And this ties into Rey's search for identity, right? That cave scene.
The mirror cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnson specifically wrote that to symbolize her searching for who she is, where she comes from. And when she asks to see her parents.
She just sees herself.
Exactly. And later, Kylo tells her what he saw. Her parents were nobodies, junk traders who sold her off.
That was a huge moment. Divisive, too.
Incredibly. Johnson said he wanted it to be the hardest thing for her and the audience to hear, like Luke learning about Vader. It was meant to say, lineage doesn't matter, you matter. Your choices.
Democratizing the Force, in a way.
That was the idea. But for fans invested in her being a Skywalker or a Kenobi, it felt abrupt, like it dismissed those connections.
And then there's that strange connection between Rey and Kylo, communicating through the Force.
The Force bond. Unexpected. Intense. We find out later Snoke created it, hoping to find Luke. But it backfires, creating this weird intimacy between them.
And through that, Kylo reveals his side of the story about Luke.
Right. He tells Rey that Luke considered striking him down in his sleep, sensing the darkness. That moment, Kylo claims, is what pushed him fully to the dark side and led to the destruction of Luke's temple.
Adds a layer of gray to Luke's character.
Definitely complicates him.
Yeah.
And this convinces Rey that Kylo can still be saved. So she leaves Ahch-To to confront him directly.
Which leads to the throne room, Snoke.
The big showdown. And total shocker, Kylo kills Snoke, turns on his master.
Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody. And then even more surprising, Rey and Kylo team up to fight Snoke's Praetorian guards. Amazing fight scene.
The temporary alliance.
Very temporary. Because right after, Kylo asks Rey to join him. Not Sith, not Jedi, but something new. Rule the galaxy together.
And she refuses.
She does, which leads to them fighting over Luke's lightsaber, and it splits in two. Symbolism everywhere.
Meanwhile, Finn and Rose are off on their own mission, Canto Bight.
The casino city. Yeah, Poe sends them with BB-8 to find a master code breaker to disable that First Order tracker. Maz Kanata points them towards Canto Bight.
And they find DJ Benicio del Toro's character.
The cynical codebreaker, yeah.
Yeah.
And Canto Bight itself reveals this ugly truth. The wealthy elite there are profiting from the war, selling weapons to both sides.
Adds that layer of moral ambiguity. It's not just good versus evil.
Exactly. Shows the corrupting influence of wealth and power in the conflict.
But their mission, it doesn't go to plan.
Not at all.
Yeah.
They infiltrate Snoke's ship with DJ, but he betrays them, sells them out to the First Order for money and freedom. Pure cynicism.
Ouch. And they get captured by Captain Phasma.
Right. But Finn finally gets his confrontation with Phasma, a really satisfying fight where he defeats her.
And Rose. She saves Finn from sacrificing himself.
She does. He's about to fly his speeder into the First Order cannon on Crait, a suicide run. Rose crashes into him, stops him.
And gives that line.
We're going to win this war not by fighting what we hate, but saving what we love. A core theme of the movie. challenging that idea of heroic sacrifice as the only way.
It connects to Holdo sacrifice too, doesn't it? But in a different way.
Absolutely. Holdo sacrifice is huge, but it's strategic. It's to save others. She stays on the main cruiser as a decoy so the transports can escape to Crait.
And then the Holdo maneuver.
One of the most visually stunning moments in Star Wars history. She turns the ship and hyperspaces through Snoke's flagship. Silent, beautiful, devastating. Cripples a First Order fleet. Just, wow.
Unforgettable. And then on Crait, Luke finally appears.
He does. Walks out to face the entire First Order, confronts Kylo Ren. They have this duel.
But it's not real.
Exactly. Kylo realizes Luke isn't actually there. He's projecting himself across the galaxy using the Force. An incredible feat of power.
Buying time for the Resistance to escape.
Precisely. It wasn't about winning a fight. It was about inspiring hope and saving his friends. A different kind of Jedi heroism.
And that effort. It costs him everything.
Yeah. It does. Exhausted. Back on Ahch-To. Luke looks out at the twin suns, just like he did as a boy. And he becomes one with the Force. Dies peacefully.
A powerful ending for his character.
Very poignant. And the film ends with that image. The stable boy on Canto Bight.
Broom boy.
Using the Force to grab his broom, looking up at the stars, wearing Rosa's resistance ring, symbolizing that hope, that spark, the Force. It can come from anywhere. It's not just about bloodlines.
A very forward-looking final note. Quote. Okay, the reception. This is where The Last Jedi becomes maybe even more fascinating, right? The reaction was intense. Let's start with the money, though, box office-wise.
Oh, it was a monster. Premiered December 9th, 2017, released wide December 15th. Pulled in $45 million just from Thursday previews.
Wow.
$104.8 million opening day. Opening weekend in the U.S. and Canada, $220 million. Second highest ever at that time. And another $230 million internationally that first weekend. Global powerhouse.
So commercially, a huge hit right out of the gate.
Absolutely. It crossed the $1 billion mark worldwide by New Year's Eve 2017, just 2 weeks.
Incredible.
Became the highest grossing film of 2017 in the U.S. Topped the box office for 3 weeks straight. Deadline Hollywood calculated its net profit at around $417.5 million, the most valuable blockbuster of 2017. Financially, a massive success.
But there's a but. China.
Yeah, China was different. Decent opening weekend, $28.7 million, but then a massive 90% drop in showtimes the next week. It just didn't connect there in the same way. Maybe cultural differences, maybe less attachment to the older saga elements.
Yeah.
A notable weak spot in its global run.
Okay, so huge overall financial success, but with that asterisk. Now, the critical versus audience reaction, this is the core of the controversy, isn't it?
It really is. Critics, overwhelmingly positive. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 91% from critics, 8.1 average rating. Their consensus praises its risks, its honoring of legacy while adding twists.
Universal acclaim on Metacritic, too, right? 84 out of 100.
Exactly. Critics love the surprises, Johnson's direction, Hamill's performance. Richard Roeper liked the action and humor. Some called Snoke's death the best movie twist in years. Even George Lucas called it beautifully made.
High praise, indeed. And awards recognition followed.
It did. Won Best Movie for Grown-Ups from AARP, Best Film, and Best Director at the Empire Awards. Hamill won Best Actor, Johnson Best Screenplay at the Saturn Awards. Williams got a Grammy nod for the score. Critically, it was lauded.
And yet, the audience score is drastically different.
That's the disconnect. Despite strong opening night scores like CinemaScore A and PostTrack's 89% positive, user scores on sites like Rotten Tomatoes were, well, low, 31% on the popcorn meter. Metacritic user scores were also much lower than the critic score.
Which sparked endless debate. Was it genuine dislike or something else?
No, it's complicated. Rotten Tomatoes themselves confirmed later in 2024 that The Last Jedi was seriously targeted by review bombing campaigns. So some of that low score was definitely manipulation.
Okay, so online metrics aren't always pure reflection.
Not always. But beyond that, there was genuine dissatisfaction among a segment of fans. Some found it too progressive. Others disliked the humor, the plot choices, specific character arcs like Luke.
And the fan theories being ignored, like Rey's parents.
That was huge for some. People felt betrayed that Rey was revealed as a nobody after years of speculation about her being a Skywalker or Kenobi. It defied those expectations of legacy. Snoke's quick death and lack of backstory also frustrated people. And Luke's actions felt like a contradiction of his established heroism to many.
It really tacked into that tension between fan expectations, sometimes years of it, and a creator's desire to subvert or evolve the story.
Precisely. Johnson made choices designed to challenge assumptions about Star Wars. For some, that was refreshing, bold. For others, it felt like a violation of what they loved about the saga. That Rey parentage reveal is the perfect example, democratizing the Force versus breaking the Chosen One tradition. Deeply divisive.
And unfortunately, that division turned really ugly for one cast member in particular, Kelly Marie Tran.
Tragically, yes. Her casting as Rose Tico sparked just vile, racist, and misogynistic harassment online, accusations of forced diversity, attacks on her appearance.
Yeah.
It was awful.
So bad she left social media.
Yeah, she quit social media in February 2018 because of the abuse. Just relentless negativity. Rian Johnson, Mark Hamill, John Boyega all publicly defended her.
Boyega faced similar abuse for Force Awakens.
He did. It highlighted this toxic underbelly in some parts of fandom, especially towards actors of color and women in prominent roles. A really dark side to the film's reception legacy.
So moving to the final film of the trilogy, The Rise of Skywalker, released December 2019. This was meant to wrap everything up.
Under J.J. Abrams again, yes. Aiming to conclude the whole 9-film saga. It also did well at the box office, $177 million opening in the U.S., over $1 billion worldwide eventually.
But the reception also mixed, maybe for different reasons.
Very mixed, yeah. Critics were much less enthusiastic than for Last Jedi. Audiences seemed divided, too. Praise for nostalgia effects, bringing back characters like Palpatine and Lando.
But criticism for the story.
A lot of criticism for feeling incoherent. Maybe retconning some Last Jedi elements, inconsistent character arcs, and relying too heavily on fan service. It felt like an attempt to course correct, perhaps too much for some.
And financially compared to the others.
Deadline calculated it had the lowest profit of the 3 Disney sequel films. Still profitable, obviously, but less so than 7 or 8, likely due to massive production costs and maybe that mixed reception impacting repeat viewings.
It introduced new characters, too, like Janna, Zori Bliss.
Babu Frick. Can't forget Babu Frick.
Never. And as we mentioned, it used that unused Carrie Fisher footage to complete Leia's story.
A technical and emotional challenge, but vital to giving her character in Carrie Fisher a fitting farewell within the saga.
So our deep dive into Star Wars. The Last Jedi comes to a close. We've traced its path from that Disney deal, through its complex production, its bold narrative choices, the critical acclaim, and that really stark audience divide, including the awful harassment.
It really shows how one film, especially in a saga like Star Wars, can hold so much. Creative ambition, huge financial success, but also profound cultural impact and intense debate. It wasn't just another movie.
No, it was a genuine cultural event, a conversation starter. For some, it was a line in the sand, maybe breaking with tradition too much. For others, it was exactly what the franchise needed, something new, challenging.
It definitely pushed boundaries, challenged expectations. And because people feel so strongly, so personally connected to Star Wars, the reactions were equally strong, both positive and negative.
Yeah, it reminds you just how deep that connection runs for so many of us.
Absolutely. And the whole experience with The Last Jedi really makes you think, doesn't it? It brings up this fundamental question for any long-running story or evolving saga.
Which is?
Well, what does it really mean for something like Star Wars to both honor its past, its legacy, and also bravely forge a new path? A path that might challenge what came before.
And how do we, as the audience, the people who love these stories, balance our own deeply held expectations, our headcanons, with the artistic vision of the creators, especially when that vision takes unexpected turns?
Exactly. That's the provocative thought we want to leave you with. How do we navigate that tension between loving the familiar and embracing the new, even when it's difficult? Something to keep pondering long after this deep dive ends.